I've studied over 100 of the most successful Etsy shops, and I noticed a specific pattern they're doing that you may not be aware of. So in this video, I'll break down all of the different tips and tricks that these 0.1% of Etsy shops are doing so you can achieve the same. After watching this video, you'll learn how to break the Etsy algorithm to get more traffic and sales. Let's get into it. So how we'll do this video is I'll showcase a couple real-world examples, different successful Etsy shops, and break down some of the elements they're doing so you can model these specific strategies. In this listing, if you scroll down here, you'll see an area called More from this shop. This is where they will showcase all of the different related listings from this same shop. So in case a buyer comes in and they're not fully 100% sold on that specific listing, they can come down here and see what else is closest to it. If you look at all of the different pricing, you notice they're all different. Some are cheaper, some are more expensive. You got $3, $4, $14, $4, and $11. And the reason why you want to do this is because every buyer is different. Some may want everything included, and some just want the specific tool, specific feature that they're looking for, or a specific design. And another reason is you're able to expand your reach by having multiple different listings, and every listing you can have different types of keywords, which ultimately will broaden your reach. And the last reason why you want to have different price points is something called price anchoring. And I like to teach my students in the program is you're able to offer a lot of different options, and it lets the buyers gauge different price points and where they're at. For example, if you have only 2 items, one at $10 and one at $30. When a buyer comes in, they'll see the $30 item and think, whoa, that's a really expensive product. Maybe I'll go for the $10 item. Whereas example number 2, if you had 3 listings, one at $10, one at $30, and a third one at $60. And that $60 listing will become your price anchoring product. Not everyone is going to buy that $60 product. However, a lot of people will see that as the expensive item, and they'll look at the $30 item as the middle average price points. It's not too expensive, it's not too cheap, and that could really increase your average order value, where a lot of people may buy that $30 option and think it's quite reasonable when they're anchoring that off of the $60 product. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if that does. I can explain a bit more. Now let's continue using this listing as an example. If you scroll down here, you see an area called Explore Related Searches. And this is where they have inputted all of their different tags when they're uploading this listing. And you want to make sure you use all 13 tags. Every successful Etsy shop, every successful Etsy listing will capitalize on all 13 tags. And you want to create different variations of different keyword phrases, right? And another way on how you can check what tags people are using is something called EverBee. It's a free Chrome extension tool that you can get, and I'll show you how that works. So you click over Product Analytics once you have installed it on your Chrome browser, and you can come down here, you can see all of the different keywords, all the different tags that they're using, and also shows you the search volume and competition rate. And this is another thing you want to do. Ideally, you want to use the highest search volume keywords and the lowest competition rate. Those will become your primary keywords, and those are the keywords you'll be putting in all of your listings, your titles, tags, descriptions. Later on, I explain how you can add them into your Etsy shop as well, but we'll talk about that later on in this video. And if you want to try out EverBee for free, you can use the link below in the description. Now let's look at another listing example. We'll be using a wedding menu for this. And if you look at the listings, you notice that they're using a video. Adding a listing video for your shop can really help increase your conversion rate. One way you can use it is to show an instruction on how the product is being used. So when a buyer is looking through them, they know exactly what the next step is after they purchase it, how they're able to edit the template, how they're able to export it, how they're using it in a lifestyle setting. So all these different features, you can showcase it in the listing video. Something else you'll notice that all these successful Etsy shops are doing is they're using all 10 images. So every listing, you can have 10 images and 1 listing video, and you want to make sure you use all 10 images, and every image should have a specific intention behind it. One may be showcasing the lifestyle, one could be showing an instruction, one could be showing what's included, maybe another one for a CTA or a free bonus. So there's many different types of images you can include within your 10 images. And it's something we go really heavily in our program because it's really important to explain everything. And yes, you can talk about these things in the descriptions, like what's included, right? What happens after post-purchase, FAQ, But if you add them all within the images, most of the buyers are going to be swiping through the images and may not even get down to the description. So any important information, any unique features, you want to include them within your 10 images. And this is really important. So there's one takeaway: make sure to do this for your listings. And I promise your conversion rate will really increase just by doing these simple things and adding the right slides to your images. Now let's jump over to the shop view from that same one. And I want to talk about the banner. What every successful Etsy shop does is they really showcase what products they're selling. You know, a lot of times when I see new sellers, they just use a banner as another way to showcase their logo, maybe a slogan, which can work, but I'd rather create a larger impact. I'd rather have a better first impression by having a more product-focused banner, by showcasing a grid of different products or just anything else but just your logo. Because if you scroll down a bit, whether on your desktop or on the mobile view, the logo and the shop name is already there. So there's no point showing it twice. You might as well take advantage of that real estate and put some product photos in there, or maybe a promotion like this shop is doing. And here's another quick bonus tip. If you look at the shop title here, this is something you can add right below your shop name. And this is an area where most people put a slogan or something that's about your shop, but you want to add some SEO friendly keywords in here because this also attributes to SEO. So earlier we talked about the different tags and how you're using EverBee to add primary keywords. Figure out what are your main primary keywords and throw those into your shop titles to help with organic search and reach. All right, let's look at another example here. This is a planner niche. If you scroll all the way down, one area that a lot of new sellers are not doing is adding an about page. Okay, this is an area where you can really showcase who you are, how are you unique compared to all of the other sellers that may be in your category. And there's a mixture between talking a lot about yourself, right, the uniqueness behind it, but also finding a way to relate it to the buyers. Maybe you're sharing a story on what made you come up with this shop, what inspired you to come up with these products. Was there a specific problem that you faced before and you feel like you can offer a better solution? So this is a great area to talk a bit about that. And a lot of buyers want to know who they're buying from, and they kind of look through the about page. So make sure to spend some time to craft something nice, something that talks about your story, what makes you unique in the marketplace. And similar to these shop titles, this also counts as SEO as well. So make sure to add some of those primary keywords. Coming up here on the left-hand side, you see an area where they create different sections for their listings. And it's important to do this because it helps categorize your products in specific categories, helps with the buyer experience. They know what's related, what is not, so they can easily toggle on what they're looking for. And another reason why you want to add sections is it helps with SEO as well. So back to the primary keywords, make sure you know what those are for your specific niche and throw them and use that as the title for your sections. So you can see they're using daily planners, they're using notebooks and notepads, recipe books, flashcards, Notion templates, and these are the main primary keywords for those specific products. And if you notice again, this shop only has 9 listings, which is very little listings, and they're able to have a lot of success by just having so little products. So, you know, for anyone saying you need hundreds and hundreds of listings to be successful, you really don't. If you're in a category that has low competition, you can definitely make it work by having just a handful of listings. But average, what I like to talk about is starting with 16 to 24. 9 is on the bit lower end. You can make it work, but this is quite rare. I would say 16 to 24 is where you want to be to start your shop and see how that works to really prove that concept. Okay, let's look at another shop here. This is in the resume category. And if you look at all of the different listings that they have, what is something you notice when we are scrolling through this shop? As you can tell, they are really specialized in a specific category. And this is something I see across all of the different successful shops is they have a specialist shop. They're not being a generalist. They're not trying to sell everything under the sun. And I know a lot of people, when they first start, they want to try to dabble into different categories to see what sticks. However, if you've done the proper research, you should already know which one you should target into. And from my experience after helping many new Etsy sellers, I noticed that if they spend the time, maybe a few weeks, on really researching on a specific category, validating the idea, validating the marketplace, understanding what products they want to launch, your chances of succeeding will be a lot higher than just trying to throw a bunch of random products and just hoping for the best. So become a specialist and not a generalist. If you have a bunch of different product ideas, I recommend just starting new shops. And this is something I do personally is I have 5 different shops and they all sell in different niches and categories. The reason I'm doing that is, yes, I want to be a specialist within each of the shop so the buyers know that I'm an authority in that space, and also you're targeting a different demographic and you would have to have different brandings within each of the shop. And this brings me to my second point is if you're looking at this shop again, you notice that they're using a very cohesive branding. So cohesive branding is another key driver that what makes your shop successful. And from this one, you can tell they're using an orange background with a marbling style, right? And a very minimalistic, very clean aesthetic. And you want to keep all of your listings similar in terms of the color palette, maybe the font choice. And what I tell my students is you would create a mood board essentially. Maybe you're using Pinterest to search up color palettes, maybe different branding ideas, and curate a bunch of different tones, different typefaces, and that will become your guide when you're creating your brand. Is reference everything from that mood board, and that will help you stay aligned and create a cohesive branding that way. And the last thing I want to talk about that every successful Etsy shop has is an FAQ page. And this is key. A lot of new sellers aren't doing this, and reasons why you want to have FAQ is to help answer any of the most common questions for buyers, but it also reduces friction. And that is key for any e-com stores out there, is to reduce friction. And how this will do it is when a buyer comes in, they're interested in your product, they may have some questions. And if they don't get the answers right away, they might go to someone else that can provide them. Even if they message you, it's still going to take you a bit of time to respond that question. So if you know some common questions that get asked for your shop specifically, put them in the FAQ. And also this counts as SEO as well. So fill some primary keywords in here and that can help you drive more traffic and rank on Etsy. And if you don't know what questions to put in there, a quick way for you to start is to look at your competitors, look at their FAQ and see what questions they have there. You can use that as an inspiration. You can remix it into your own words, and that can be a good starting point. Over time, once you collect more questions, then you can kind of change that up, but definitely have an FAQ section when you first start. And that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about how to be successful selling on Etsy. And if you're in the process of starting a digital products shop, then check out my free masterclass. I go through everything that you need to know to get started, from how do you do the researching, how do you create your products, what tools are required, how much does it cost to get a shop set up, right? All these different questions are answered in this free masterclass. You'll find a lot of value in there, so check it out in the link below, the free masterclass. So that is it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.